had a lot of playoff success except for the 1 year, 2001, with who? Larry Brown, a coach that would challenge him and harness him a little bit and try to change it. Now, Larry gave a lot, too, because Iverson was Iverson, but he also, I mean, it's legendary how much they went at it. That's what you would need with Westbrook, but here's the thing. Iverson was caught by Larry Brown relatively early in his career, 5, 6 years in, something like that. It's not, Westbrook is now set in his ways, and he's had tremendous success doing what he does. And one of his great strengths, like Joy was saying in the break, he's not listening to anybody, which can be good because he's always been told you can't do this. UCLA, you weren't even that good at UCLA. Your junior year in high school, you averaged like 10, 11 points a game. You can't make it to the NBA. That's been a strength for him, but it's also a weakness because he's not going to listen. When Magic Johnson criticized him in the 2012 finals, and he said Westbrook played the worst game he's ever seen by a point guard in the NBA finals because he said he was too wild. Westbrook said, I'm not changing my game for anybody, no matter what anybody says. That's been a strength, but it's also a weakness. So, but here's, you mentioned they're stuck with him for 4 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade him.
Oh,
not that you can't. It's going to be difficult, number one. Here's the thing, Colin, and I know, look, if I'm Oklahoma City, what I'm going back to the drawing board, I'm saying, okay, we got to build around Russ and Paul. What we need are shooters. They can't shoot. Westbrook can draw a double team every single time down the court. If he kicks it, he's a willing passer. If he kicks it to you, you got to have guys that can knock it down. That's what I'd try. But I'm on the record. You're not winning the championship with him. But here's the thing. Everybody's not going to win a championship. Was the Stockton-Malone era a waste in Utah?
No, but they were built and designed to win a championship. They just happened to have to face the greatest player and the greatest team of all time. They were built. They had rebounders, scorers, ball handlers. They were built to win a championship. They were not a flawed. The architecture with Utah was not flawed. It's like Phil Mickelson. He's not flawed. He just faced Tiger for 12 years in his prime. Joe Frazier was built to be the heavyweight champ. He just happened to go up against Muhammad Ali. This team is not even close to built to be a championship team.
That's a good point. That's a good point because I was going to mention Ewing and Nash and Phoenix and Sacramento with Chris Webber and those guys. You're right. They were built where you thought they could win.
But there was a dynasty.
This team is flawed. But what about Allen Iverson in Philly?
Well,
was it the right move to get rid of him? When you have a legend, especially in Westbrook's case where he chose OKC when Durant left you.
Right.
Oklahoma City, Colin, here's the fact. They may never win a championship. Or at least for the next 30 years. Utah's never won a championship. The Indiana Pacers have never won an NBA championship. You have really good franchises, thriving NBA franchises that have never won a championship.
But those teams were always willing to build to win a title. Just because Dan Marino didn't win a title, his teams were good enough. They were built right. What Oklahoma City is doing is we're hostage. We're not going to change the architecture. You've got Paul George, a top 15 player in the league.
Well, hold on. He is a top 15 player, and he's escaping. With all the criticism of Westbrook, George has not been good either. He has not been good. And the next question stuff, unless he's had a beef with somebody, he looks like a major follower right now.
There's no question.
I mean, come on, Paul George. Be your own man. Unless there's some beef he had with somebody where he's doing it justifiably, I don't get it. But I get where you're coming from. But I also say, look, this is a business, and Westbrook is a local legend. He puts fans in the stands. And look, Colin, what do you do? Let's trade Westbrook and George and start all over. Well, it doesn't always work when you start all over. How long did it take Sacramento? They're still not in the playoffs. Phoenix, Orlando, they just got in the playoffs. Detroit went 7 years without the playoffs. We're starting over. And then they finally go to, you know what? Let's bring in Blake Griffin.
Hey, I'm not for starting over. I'd keep Steven Adams. I'd keep Paul George. I'd keep Dennis Schroeder. There are a lot of components I like. The Westbrook thing, though, I will always defend organizations that are building and constantly evolving to win titles. And they don't because they face a dynasty. They face Tiger Woods. Right. But Oklahoma City's just being stubborn. Nope, this is what we are. this is not even, you're not trying to get better. You're just trying to sell tickets. And okay, we got a lot of stuff here.
You make some sense. It's interesting, but I still wouldn't trade him. I still wouldn't trade him.
Occasionally I throw a strike. Okay, we have, by the way, I don't know if anybody noticed, the Celtics swept in the first round. Okay. Chris Broussard sticking around. Running a small business is a lot of work. It takes time and it takes money. And you want that time and that money to go toward what you know. Okay, I've had friends start small businesses.